Alright, so last week we talked a little bit more about things that you can control, influence, and react. You know, and from a business perspective, we talked about that was you react to market trends, you can influence sales, and you can control your allocation of resources. So that's how it kind of applies to businesses. Today I wanted to kind of talk about how it applies to us as individuals. And we've all heard the saying that, you know, life is, 90%, or is it 10% what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. And, and that really comes into play with a lot of this control, influence, react. So if you think about it from the perspective of, if you've got the, from a control standpoint, influence, and react. When it comes to you as a person, you can react to situations. You can influence interactions. What's the one thing that you can control? What's the one thing in this entire world that really is the only thing you have direct and complete total control over?
The weather. Yourself.
Yourself, your thoughts, right? That is the one thing that you have complete and total control over, is what goes on right here between your ears. And so where this comes into play is it's all about trying to keep this balance of how situations, interactions affect your thoughts. Because there's kind of two ways that can happen, is that a certain situation, if you think about this as kind of a tectonic plate that can shift and move around, it can cause your interactions with people or your thoughts to kind of get jostled and out of commotion. The key is to try to stay centered and try to stay balanced and try to control your thoughts and take the mentality that you have control of it. Because there's really, it comes down to, you can have a victim's mentality or a hero's mentality. And where this comes into play is how you react to things. So you can control how things are how you're going to think about a situation. And so situations are always going to happen. Things are always going to, kind of make things go on. And the problem then is, if you take a victim's mentality, is you look at this situation that happened and you say, well, they did this to me, this happened to me, everything is pronoun to me. He made me mad, she made me mad, they made me frustrated, there's nothing I can do about it. That's a victim's mentality, is it happens to you. Where the hero mentality comes in is it starts always with I, and then it's a verb situation. So it's, I was, in this case where if he made me mad, instead it's I was unable to stay patient, in that situation. It's a slight change, but it's a really big difference mentality. When you can take ownership of this situation and realize that this situation or this interaction didn't make you mad. It's just the way that you reacted to it. And so where this, like everything else, is trying to stay centered, is it's kind of like a muscle, just like anything else that comes with practice, because you want to try to stay centered and understand that this is happening even when you are frustrated, even when you are upset, even when something bad does happen, because bad situations and bad interactions happen all the time. And if you're looking for them and you're the victim, they happen all the time. But when you take that hero mentality and you take ownership of your situation and of your mentality, all of a sudden what happens is those things don't dominate your thoughts and those things don't dominate the way that you do things. The challenge is it takes a lot of mental stamina and strength stay centered. It's hard, especially when you're stressed, especially when you're tired. The key is to really stay focused on awareness and practice. That's, like anything, is the only way that you can continually improve things, is being aware of the situations, being aware of your trigger points, and being aware of the things that can sometimes switch you from having a hero mentality into a victim mentality, and then practice trying to stay centered. If you think about these as blocks, and if a situation happens and it knocks your interactions off center or knocks your thoughts off center, we all have different triggers and we all have different signs of this. A lot of, and I've talked with a lot of you guys about some of these situations, but you can start feeling these things, and a lot of times it's in the eyes or the brows. You start getting shorter of breath, your words per minute go up, your volume goes up, your chest gets tight. Like, these are all signs that you're getting out of control, you're getting off center. And those are when you need to take a deep breath, get recentered, and take control of your thoughts to the point where you are in control of your interactions and you're in control of how you're reacting to those situations. We all have our different signs, and you have to be aware of what those are, and when you feel them, just take a step back, get recentered, and refocused. Because when you start becoming aware and you start practicing that, you're going to build up your mental stamina and your mental strength that's going to allow you to take more control of your thoughts, which is going to allow you to be the hero more often, which is going to put you in a better situation to be successful. Because it's where it really comes back to is when, in this situation, the victim is always going to look outward. So they're going to say, you need to help me. You need to change this. You need to do that. Where the hero mentality is about looking inward and saying, here's what I need to do to take control of this situation. Here's what I need to do to get recentered. Here's what I need to take control of. And this doesn't mean that this has to be a personal battle that you don't get assistance for, and you don't look to someone to help coach you, and you don't look for someone to help mentor you through. The difference is, though, when you, as a victim, look outward for a solution, you're looking for dependence. You're looking for someone to do it for you, versus when you can be introspective and you can try to figure out what's causing things and you can take control of that thing. There you're just looking for direction. Help me shift my perspective, help me get me in a place where I can be successful, and then take control of what needs to happen in order to be successful. It's all about understanding yourself, understanding that you do have 100% total control over your thoughts, and then channeling them in that perspective. Because in life you're always going to have choppy situations. The waves are going to come. At times you're going to have cool, calm waters, but more often than not, with the people that we are, where we think like entrepreneurs and we try to take proactive measures and we're trying to do things, we're going to have situations that are going to be choppy. So you have three choices. Is you can try to swim against this, you can drown, or you can just get a surfboard and ride the wave. And if you can take control of your thoughts, then you see these as opportunities to work on your awareness, to work on your practice, to get stronger, just like training for any type of athletic event, which is going to make you more able to take on bigger and bigger challenges over time. The biggest key is you've got to understand the difference between taking ownership of the situation and being the victim to the situation. And when you can take ownership of something and you can understand that you have control of how you react to a situation, how your thoughts are, then you have much more ability to really go out and do things, and you can push yourself even further and even harder because you can understand the ramifications of the things you're working with.